Hello, my name is Meredith and welcome to the Elder Sage. Today I would like to share with you how I came to be on the spiritual path, for which I need to wind the clock back almost 4 decades to when I was 24 working on the Gold Coast in Queensland as a fashion designer. I was very successful as a designer. I'd won many awards, worked with some of the top Australian fashion designers. However, I wasn't happy. In fact, I was miserable inside. On the outside, I was all smiles and shiny. Nobody would even know that anything was wrong. But 3 tragedies had taken place in my life. The first, my father died. The second, my partner left me a month later. The third, my cousin was killed in a car accident. 3 tragedies in 3 months catapulted me on a spiritual quest to discover what life was all about. I don't know if you can see Huxley in the reflection behind me, but there he is. This is what he does. He looks over the edge. This platform here looks over. We're on the top of a hill. We're on the top of a hill, and this is the view. This is what I get to see every day. It's magnificent. So anyway, 3 tragedies in 3 months catapulted me on a spiritual quest to discover what life was all about. What is happiness? Where is happiness? And would I ever be happy again? Because I certainly wasn't happy then. So I started spiritual shopping. I went on a shopping spree, spiritual shopping spree as I like to call it, where I read every self-help book available. Now this was pre-internet time, so we couldn't Google anything. I attended every course, every workshop that I could, and this went on for 2 years until a friend suggested that I go to Perth to do a course called Mastermind. Now this name Mastermind really intrigued me because I thought, well, yeah, that's what I want. I want a mastermind. I want to master my mind. And so I jumped on a plane and headed over to Perth, arrived at the Australian Institute of Management and was met by Gary Capelli, who was very impressed that I had travelled all this way to attend his course. And on that night, Gary said that our emotional mind had taken over our personality and was wreaking havoc. And I totally related to that. And he said that we had a weak intellect, that we needed to strengthen it. It was like a muscle. We needed to strengthen the intellect so that we could supervise our mind. And I really related to that. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to strengthen my intellect so I could observe and manage this mind of mine. And he then held up this book. This is the Vedanta Treatise. This is an old copy of the Vedanta Treatise. This is what it looked like back then. And he said everything that he knows comes from this book. All his knowledge comes from this book. And then he continued by saying that if he was 10 years younger, he would go to India and study under this man, Swami A. Parthasarathi. Now his book was intriguing because it was double the thickness. It was double the thickness, full of post-it notes, heavily highlighted, dog-eared, and yeah, this was Gary's book. And I was intrigued. Fortunately, the people I was billeted with had the book in their library, and that night I started reading and I couldn't put it down. Finally, a book that made complete sense. It wasn't airy-fairy, it was solid facts about life. And the following morning, I fell asleep reading it. The following morning I picked it up and continued reading. And that day, Gary said that Swami Parthasarathi was going to be in Perth in a few days' time to hold a retreat at Point Walter. Anyway, I got on the phone, extended my stay because I was only going to stay that weekend, extended my stay, and yeah, talk about synchronicity. These things just fell into place perfectly. These experiences just fell into place perfectly, one by one by one. On the Thursday evening was an introductory talk. Swamiji was presenting, of course, and the auditorium was packed. Everybody wanted to meet the Swami. He arrived, walked onto the stage, sat on a platform on the stage, crossed his legs, closed his eyes, and chanted Om. Shall we do it? I think so. Let's close our eyes. Take in a deep breath. The whole auditorium was quiet. And then he spoke on the hollowness of human pursuits. He said that all the stress and strain, all the worry and anxiety that we faced in life was due to one thing, and that was discontentment. He said because of this discontentment, we look out into the world seeking fulfillment. And we might find it, but it's only ever temporary. And oh my goodness, I just felt as if he was talking directly to me. After the talk, I was introduced to Swamiji, and he planted the seed about the academy. He said that you are most welcome. I run a 3-year full-time residential course in India, and oh gosh, I think I was already there. And then on the Friday, the retreat started, and it was a magnificent experience. The idea of the retreat was to share what life was like at the academy. So I won't go into details about the retreat, but it was a beautiful 3-day retreat. After the retreat, I had to go home and let my mother know that I had made up my mind to go and study Vedanta at the Vedanta Academy in India. And yeah, she was so gracious. She just said, Meredith, you are about to embark on the journey of your life, the adventure of your life. I wish you well. And with that, I went to India and stayed for a total of 6 years. I came back to Australia briefly after the 3 years, but I went back purely to consolidate the knowledge, to digest it, because that's what knowledge needs. It needs to be digested, converted into wisdom, so that you live the knowledge. And that's what I did. 6 years in India, and then 25 years teaching the philosophy. So that's how I started. That's how I got on this spiritual journey. And it has been a wild ride, to say the least. And that's what this channel is all about. The lessons that I learnt in the Vedanta Academy under Swamiji's guidance, and also the lessons afterwards as a teacher of Vedanta. So I hope you'll stick around. I look forward to presenting the next video next week. Thank you.